Good evening, friends. Welcome to the BISP Solutions. This is Rajpat, and today we are going to dive into a core administrative function that is managing metadata in Oracle PBCS. Today, we will go beyond the basics and explore the three primary ways to load the metadata, helping you work more efficiently and maintain a healthy application. So first and foremost, we need to understand that what is metadata and why is it so important. So let's start with a quick refresher. In a PBCS, the data is your actual budget numbers, forecast, and plans. The metadata is the structure that holds that data. Think of your application as a house. The data is the furniture and the belongings inside, while the metadata is the blueprint that the walls, the rooms, and the foundation. So loading metadata is crucial because it allows you to adapt to the change. As your business evolves, you will need to add new products, departments, or accounts. In the second terms, it maintains the accuracy. An up-to-date metadata structure ensures your reports and calculations are based on the correct hierarchy. And the last thing, it improves the efficiency. Loading metadata in bulk saves an incredible amount of time compared to the manual entry. So it has a different functions as well as the attributes. So we have also discussed that why loading metadata is important in the application, so that we can do a smooth planning as well as budgeting of the organization. It is needed to load the metadata. So let's open the pane and we will understand today's agenda, that what we will do today. So first we will understand the introduction part, that what is metadata, that we have taken some basics as well as glimpse about it, and why is loading metadata is important. Is loading metadata is important. In the next thing, we will discuss the dimension editor method. Yesterday we have discussed that how we can load the metadata through the classic editor method, where we will use the simple dimensions options as well as we click to the add siblings as well as the add child to create or to load the metadata under the instance. So today we will know the new methods. These methods will be dimension editor method, as well as we will also see that how we can load the metadata in a bulk. So we have the separate and segregate options for loading the metadata in the bulk, because it is very important to do the automation in the instance, because we don't know when the new data entry would be there on the file as well as new metadata entered to the file. As we know that this instance is globally accessible, so it is important to schedule the job run as well as to automate the things easy. It will reduce the human intervention in loading the metadata. So it is all about fostering the touchless system or leaning IT cost in the market of Oracle PBCS. So second thing we will discuss is dimension editor method. Different method that we will use, it is file based bulk loading. So here we will use the classical administrator. We will do all these things from the instance itself. Yesterday, as we have discussed about the classical editor method. So here we will discuss about the classical administrator approach. And in the last we will discuss that what are the importance of using these methods, as well as we will also do the comparison or the variance between two of them methods, as well as three methods that we will discuss today, that is classical dimension editor and the bulk loading. We will also discuss that when to use this method, because it is important and significant to know that in which time which method is appropriate to load the metadata, because a lot of professionals do the mistakes in this important stuff, because if you will use the different method in the different time, so absolutely the chance of chaos would be on the paramount. So that's why it is mandatory to accept that which kind of methods is suitable for different data. If we will have the bulk metadata, or a large number of entries under the file function, so absolutely we will go for the bulk metadata loading. And if we will have the minute metadata with us in the file, so absolutely we will use the two methods that I have taught you earlier. The first method that I have taught you earlier, that is classical editor method, and the second one today we will discuss, that is dimension editor. So in the last we will do the importance as well as the comparison, and the most important thing, that is when to use which method. Importance and comparison. We'll discuss that when to use which method. So as we have discussed this part in the beginning, that what is metadata and why it is important. So as we know, we have the three ways to load the metadata. We have the three ways to load metadata. So first one is classical editor method. Classical editor method. In the different part we have a different method, that is dimension editor. That is dimension editor method. The last method that we have, that is bulk metadata loading. Bulk metadata loading. So the bulk metadata loading we have at the last, which is absolutely appropriate for the large metadata. I can mention it here, appropriate appropriate for the large metadata file. So under the classical edited method, we have discussed that we have to go under the create and manage. So under create and manage, we will go for we will click the option dimension, and after that we will go to add child or siblings. We will go to add child and siblings under the parent member. This is the appropriate method of classical editor method, where we will discuss about that how we can load the metadata from the classical thing. So yesterday we have discussed, I will also do the recap of it. So let's see it again. So under the alias we have the balance sheet, just drill down simply, and under it we have the current assets, and under current assets we have cash and short-term equivalents. It has only two options, that is two members, that is cash and marketable securities. If I want to add one more thing on it, so simply I will click here in the add sibling, and I will add it here one member, that is cash at securities, and I will make it as in store. The data storage I will make it as in store, so that the professional can input the number on it. If they are using the data form, so absolutely if they will open this member, so they will be enabled to input the data under the data form for this specific member. So just save it, and we can see here the cash at securities here. The cash at securities here, you can see it. I have not mentioned the GL code. You can also mention the GL code or the unique identification number like 110. So I can also mention like 1120 for a unique identification. So this was the classical additive method that we have discussed yesterday, and which was a really insightful session yesterday. I hope most of people have run this session. And this method is for the traditional users who load the metadata from the classical thing. Earlier, the Oracle PBCS or the planning application used to call as an Oracle Hyperion. So on the Oracle Hyperion, this method was very much famous, and they were a lot of professionals were used to do this method to load the metadata. So the new options has been came after the creation and the recreation of Oracle PBCS, as well as in the EPBCS we have seen a lot of changes, that it has enabled the option of dimension editor as well as the option of SmartView and data management loading. So in the next we will load the metadata through the dimension editor method. So for this method is also simple. We have to go under the overview, and in the overview we will click to the dimension, and under the dimension we will simply click the accounts dimension, where we can create a new member or we can create a new siblings in the members structure. So what we have to do, I will mention the steps here so that everyone can make the notes, so that it would be very much easier to them to understand the concepts in a better way. So under application, you have to go in overview. You have to click the option overview. And under the overview, we will see the whole interface. So under overview, we'll click the option dimension. And then we will go to the account dimension. Account dimension. So we will see the account dimension, and then we will click, and under that we have the two options to add child and to add siblings. Adding child and sibling, or we can create the new members. So it is all about a dimension editor method. So let's open the instance again. I will show you practically that how we can add the metadata, or we can add the siblings or child under the group member through the dimension editor method. Simply we will go to the home option. You can see the home option. For back, we can click this option. It will take a little bit time to open, and here, as we have discussed, I have taught you this step that we have to click on the application option, and under the application we have to click on overview. So under the overview, we will see the several options are there, like overview, cubes, dimensions, as well as activity reports. Here you will you can have the also option to refresh the things, and under the actions we have a remove application option. We have also discussed during creating the application that how the professionals can use this option and how we can remove the application, or as well as we can create a new application under the instance. So another things, we have the inbox and outbox explorer, as well as the manage sandbox. To enable the strategic modeling, we have the different and separate options, and the auto predict, as well as the groovy script validator. So to scenario, version, year, and market size. So these all dimensions that we have, and if we want to add the new dimension under the accounts member, so we can simply add it. We will click it here, and we will interface is showing the different options. It is enabling you to edit the member properties under the account ones. So as we are practicing on the vision application, so it is the sample application, automatically we have this different structure of the proper organization, as well as we have the appropriate balance structure of suppose if we want to practice on the dummy income statement or the data, so that we have the option, as well as for the balance sheet we also have the similar structures that the industry follows. So suppose if I want to add the new member, so simply I will just drill it down this dimension. So here I can see the different dimensions that we have seen under the create and manage. We already have, that is account, cash flow, direct input, and miscellaneous, as well as the profit and loss statement. So simply we have to go in the alias. So under the alias you can see here the different and the alternative names are there, but we have to go under the all accounts option, and under the all accounts option we have the two things, that is balance sheet and the net income. So under the net income and balance sheet, we will choose the balance sheet here. So as we have added the cash at securities under the added member properties under the account or under the cash and short-term equivalents. If I want to add one more member, that is cash at inventory, so how I will add it? Here we have the options under the action, and under the add sibling we have to click whether we want the 2 option or the 3 options. You can simply click it, and whatever the numbers of members would be there, whatever the numbers you want to add, so you can mention the number here. Suppose I want to add 2 members, that is 2 siblings, so just apply it. It will give you the blank column under the cash and short-term equivalents. So we as we have added from the database from the dimensions and the classic editor, the cash at securities, here I will add 2 columns, 2 members, that is cash at inventories, cash at inventories, and the last one would be cash at marketable securities, or cash at bond, we can take it simply. So 2 things we have created, and here we also have the option for the drop down list, that we call it as in smart list under the instance. So we have the different options for the data storage, that under the data storage what kind of options we will select. As we have earlier discussed, that if we want to input the data, so absolutely we will select the store option, and it is specifically for the last member. Whatever the last member is there, so we will keep it as in store. This is not for the ancestors parents. And if I talk about the dynamic calc and store, as well as the dynamic calc, so it is for the final outcome, that whatever the add members would be there, so it will be calculated in the dynamic calc or in the parent member. Suppose here I have taken the example of balance sheet, but if I will take the example of dynamic calc, so absolutely under the total revenue we have the different options. So we have the different source of revenues, like it could be hardware, IT solutions, as well as the software. So these 3 solutions, these 3 sources we have for the revenue in the organization. So simply if we want to add these sources, so absolutely we will click on the dynamic calc, and we will see the outcome of that aggregation would be see in the interface and in the parent member of total revenue. So automatically the total revenue will aggregate the above child members under the total revenue. So this is how we use the dimension editor method, as well as we use the appropriate method to load the metadata. So under we have different options, like never shared is there, shared is there. So we will not use it, we will simply keep it store. And here also in the cash bond we will keep it store. I think someone has deleted the application, that's why it is not coming. So again we will create it, we will try to create it. because this instance is uh, accessibly available to all the users who are working on it. So that's why it is more chances that the professionals who are using this instance, so they can remove this application. So that's why a little bit difficulty we have to face during the functions. So it has taken us to the first page that we have to create the applications, the sample application, because we don't have another option. Someone has already deleted the application, that's why we're not able to see the previous application. And whatever the changes we have did in the earlier application, so absolutely it will not come in the new sample application. We have to start from the scratch itself again. But I will try to create the new sample application again. It is showing the error, but it will take some time to create the application, but it would be there in front of your face. As we can see that application creation status. So application creation has been initiated. So please wait for completion status. So it is taking time. Some glitches there while creating the sample application, or some maintenance issue is occurring. So we have to discuss that how the dimension editors works. I have already mentioned it, that how we do the adding children function as well as the adding sibling function under the through the dimension editor, as well as how we load the metadata through this specific method. Simply you have to save it and you have to refresh the database. That I have already taught you earlier, that whatever the changes it will take place in the instance, so you are bound to click on the option of refresh database, because when you will click the option on the refresh database, so the instance will check and validate the metadata, and whatever the changes you have made under the instance, so it will be visible to all the users. So that is the attributes of refresh database and how it performs. So the dimension editor is your manual and the direct entry to. It's built right into the user interface, and how it works I have told you. Like, you navigate to the dimension you want to change, find the parent member and click the add child button. You then manually fill in the member property like alias, data, storage and account type. So this is a perfect for a very specific one-time change. For example, if your finance team asks you to add just one new account for a special project, so absolutely you will add through the dimension editor method. So what are its importance and the best use? So its importance is like a simplicity. It is the most straightforward method. No files to create, no imports to run. Best for single member additions or minor property changes to an existing member. Even we have the limitations under it, like this method is extremely inefficient and prone to error for more than a few changes. Imagine trying to add 50 new cost centers one by one. It would take forever and you would likely to make a mistake. So this leads us to our next method, that is file based bulk loading. So under the bulk loading you can directly load the metadata of thousands, even of the 10,000s of members automatically by just a couple of clicks. So instance provides you the options from which you can load the metadata through different as well as to dichotomic options. So here I will also talk to you about that how we can do the bulk metadata loading. So here we will also discuss the step under it, like what kind of bulk metadata loading we can do under the instance. So here in the previous method I have taught you about the classical additive method, where this method was simple, that we have created under the manage as well as under the dimension. We have gone to the add child members option, as well as we have created the new siblings under the cache and short-term equivalents. As far dimension editor is concerned, so its step was also easy. We have opened the option of application, and we have just simply click on the option overview, and we were about to see the different methods, different options under it. So we have clicked on the overview, then we have gone to the dimension, and we have clicked on the dimension that we want to make the changes, and we have opened the specific dimension, that is cache and short-term equivalents, and we've added the two child members under it, like cache at inventories as well as the cache at pawn securities. So these two major changes we have done in the instance to load the metadata. Now we will see the bulk metadata loading. So this is what many seasoned administrators refer to as classical or the bulk loading. So it is the most common and the powerful method for managing your application structure. So you might have in doubt, you might have in question that how it works. So you prepare a file, typically a comma separated values, that is .csv, that contains all your metadata changes. You then import this file directly into the application. Just see how it will work. So for that we will go to the navigator. So we will go to the navigator. I am just also writing the steps, that what the steps you have to follow for the each methods. Navigator, and then we will click on the application. Click on the application, and after that we will go to the overview. Overview. So under that we will click to the dimension tab. You have to click to the dimension tab, and after that click on the export, because we don't have the proper file format, so we have to click on the export, and then we will fetch the export the file format, and we will enter the appropriate members as per the instance file format structure. Click on the export, and after changing we can click on the import. Here we will click on this export. Then we will browse for your CSV file. Even we can check it under the job. We will validate it, and then we will import it, and we will check it on the job, whether the file has been imported or it has showed some errors or not. So let's check whether instance is created or not. It is taking time to create the application. I think someone has initiated this option. So this is critical. Please close attention to the clear options. Like no clear, this is the safest option. It will only add new members or update existing ones. It will not delete anything. Use this for almost all your bulk data. You have to keep in mind that what the mistakes that you don't need to apply. Even you can also clear all data and replace member. This is an extremely powerful and dangerous option. It will delete all members of that dimension and replace them with only what's in your file. Only use this if you are rebuilding a dimension from the scratch. I think someone has already created the application. It is the EPBCS application that someone has created. But we need a new application. Even we can also do it from EPBCS. So simply we will go to dimensions under the overview. Go to the dimension, click this option, and here you can see the option is there, account. Click on the export, click on the create option, and then what kind of dimension you want to export in your file. So I am selecting here the account dimension. Just export it. So we can see here it is already exported. So we will click it. We will see here we have the different options for it. So we will extract to the desktop here. Now we will add the new things. Here you can see we have already imported, as well as not so far we have imported, we have exported the data file to our local PC. So here you can see that we have two things under the EPBCS, that's why it has no members. So we will add a new members here. So here you can see we have the account, pendants, alias, valid for data storage, to pass calculation, descriptive formula, UD, and various things. So here we will add two things, that is balance sheet. We add the balance sheet. It would be under the account, so just copy it and paste it. Under the balance sheet we will add two things, that is current assets and current assets first we will mention it here. So it would be under the balance sheet, and we will just paste it because balance sheet is its parent member. And under the current asset we will add cash and short-term equivalents. Here we will add the short-term equivalents, so it would be under the current asset. So here we are adding these two things. For a store we will not make it the same thing, but let keep the things same for the below members. Copy it and just paste it. And you can save this file. So again we will go to the dimension. We will close the existing interface and we will rebuild it again. So now we, for the export the correct file format we have added, and we have just click on the export format. For import the format we will just click on the import option. You can see here we have the import option, so simply you have to click on this option, just go to import and we will click it here and just go to the create option. So you can see that we have the different dimensions, that is account, period, years, scenario, version, currency, entity and the product. And instance is giving us the opportunity to load as well as to choose the file, that which file we have to choose, but the condition is that the file should be in the comma delimited. As we have exported the file, so absolutely we know that the file is already in the comma delimited text, so that's why we not need to change its format. So we will click on the account. From the desktop we will load Betty Anderson export in metadata account. We have made the changes on it and we will open it. So it is already selected. So now we will validate it. Before import it is very mandatory to validate the file. After that import it, and you can see here the interface is showing that import metadata job submitted successfully. So simply you have to click on this option and we will close the tab. For checking the things whether the file has been imported or not, we have to go in the jobs. Under the jobs we can simply check it that the file has imported or not. Go to the job. Yeah, so you can see here the import metadata has been completed. It means we have done the job successfully. So this is how we import the metadata, how we load the metadata through bulk loading method. So for for checking these all stuffs, we will refresh it from here itself. So it is taking time to refresh it. So it is taking a little bit time. Okay, it has been refreshed. From the overview we can click on the option of refresh the database, because as we have learned in the previous sessions also, if we want to see the changes under the instance, so we are bound to click on the option of refresh database. So it is mandatory to click on it. So we will refresh the database. So we have the two options to refresh the database under it. Yeah, so we have already refreshed it. We will see the changes under the dimensions. So we will go to the navigator and under the create and manage option we have to click on the dimensions, and we will see here the different options are there. Whatever the things we have added, why it is not coming, we will refresh the database, refresh it. Yeah, now it will come. You can see the changes. The balance sheet that we have added, it is coming. As it is already mentioned that aggregate storage outline requires dynamic hierarchies to have at least one child to consolidate by addition, subtraction, multiplication, division or percentage. And parent member that we have added so far, so it is balance sheet on the screen. So it is completed, as it's taking time, or it is complete. Yeah. So under the balance sheet, whatever the members we have added, it is visible on the instance. So two things we have added: balance sheet current assets as well as the cash and short-term equivalents. So now you can see whatever the changes that we have made in the Excel file, it is showing on the instance because we have imported the metadata successfully. But you have to keep in consideration, you have to keep in mind that whatever the file you are selecting, it should be in the comma delimited, and no text file is allowed under the instance. If you want a text file, so you have to click the option of text under import dimensions member. So instance gives the option of that if you want to change the thing, so you can click simply on the text file, but I would recommend you to go with the comma delimited file, because if a comma delimited file would be there, so the chance of chaos would be minimized. Okay. Yeah, so Excel file, that's why I have exported the correct file, because I was not having the correct appropriate format for it, that what changes and in which format I will make the changes. So that's why for the exported things I got in correct file format, and then I have made the changes on that file, and I have just saved it on my local PC, and through the importing data I have just loaded that specific file under import data option. So this was all about the metadata loading that we have learned today. So I hope this session helps you to understand the different ways you can manage your application metadata. Choosing the right method for the task will save your time to reduce the errors, as well as to ensure your application remains a reliable tool. So thank you for watching this session. If any doubt would be there, so you can ask me on the comments, and without any hesitation you can ask me on comments, and I will just try to resolve that doubt. Thank you for watching this session. Thank you.